So good afternoon. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, with take 3. Every time I've sat down, there's been some sort of disturbance or I haven't quite got what I need. So let's hope third time a charm. So welcome to the last Sunday and the last day of 2023. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. It's a holiday that can either be great or people will not enjoy it, or you might not celebrate it. But here we are on the last day, and here we are leaping into 2024. Even though I've said, I think for the past few months, I've talked about how things are speeding up, I'm really feeling that right now it's a little bit slower, the energy. And then I heard earlier today, I was listening to somebody else's prediction, and they were saying that it is, that this year's going to start slower. And it's that energy, it's the Saturn energy. So that's that's coming in right now, is that Saturn energy. So that planet is like, well, it's going to slow things down a little bit. And I've certainly felt like everything gathered speed. And then as we've come into this weekend, it's sort of a slower, which we need. And as probably a lot of you know, if you follow me and you follow the dragons, tomorrow is actually the year of the wood dragon, but actually it's the Chinese New Year, which it's the lunar New Year, and the color of the dragon is the violet dragon. I've also seen the dragon as the green dragon because, again, wood is a very grounding energy. So I think it's whatever you see as that dragon for you this year. So it could be a violet dragon. It could be the energy of violet dragon. It could also be what I'm seeing as a brown and sort of violet, one of those shimmery dragons. It's going to take us slowly or slower through the year. The colours are all going to be earth tones, and especially the greens and the golds, and very earth grounding energy. So I think for a lot of people, I've had certainly a few years where it's been very fast in the first few months. So I'm pleased that it's actually a slower energy. And the Chinese New Year starts on February 10th. So we've got about 6 weeks of like building up to going into the year of the wood dragon. So more to come on that as I learn it and as I get messages around it. I've continued to channel messages each day, which are going up on my private Facebook page. I also just joined Linktree, which I had somebody told me about, but I actually signed up for it. So you'll find that on my website. That will go up in day or two. So that's, you can click on one of those, take you directly there. Like on my website, it will take you directly to my private page where I post. I also post on YouTube each day in the community section, the card and the message for the day. So if that's what you want, go there. It's usually in the evening, I will set that up. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I also wanted to say that I also got my book out and shipped out, and some of you have already contacted me and said you've received it and given me some really nice feedback on my chapter, which is a good start for next year, because I think I can see that I'm going to be doing some more writing, and I'm not sure where that's going yet, but I'm putting it out there that there's going to be more writing coming from me. I enjoyed writing that chapter. I think there's a lot more in me. Actually, anybody that's known me my lifetime, I've landed up in situations or jobs or whatever's happened to me, and I've often said, I could write a book about that. So I'm guessing there could be a few books in it. I've rescued, I had a period in my life where I used to do dog rescue. So there were some fabulous and some sad stories around that. But for many years, certainly before I moved to the United States and before I had children, I was what is equivalent to a visiting nurse. We were called district nurses. And I have some hilarious stories and some of the things I did, some sad ones and also some very touching ones. I was also a hospice nurse. So I always found that as people were transitioning, it was a privileged position to be in, to nurse them in those last few days or last few weeks. and to help the family through that process. So, as I said, there have been quite a few chapters in my life that I could still write about, and I may still. But I think the dragons are definitely wanting me to write more about them. So more to come, but it's just the beginning of the year. So, so as I said, people are slowly receiving my books. Depends where you are in the world. A few got shipped internationally. Some of the shipping, I sent it media mail. So some of you got them like 2 days later, and other people a little bit longer. So I'm thinking of actually doing an offer. So anybody that's watching this that has not received a book yet, if you would still like a copy, I still have quite a few books left that I sign. Everybody Got a Dragon message, which I hope resonated with you. And I am going to add to that I can do a 3-card dragon reading. So that would be for $55. That I'll put that out probably in a few days. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to offer. So if that speaks to you, just send me a message. Also, speaking of classes and things, tomorrow evening, which is January 1st, I'm going to be doing a quick live with Dina. We have some classes scheduled. We have been blasting it across several pages, and she's been sending it out, so have I. We're looking to do monthly classes starting on January the 11th, 7:30 to 9 p.m. And this is what we're being drawn to, is the Violet Flame, which, as I've just said, seems to go nicely with the Violet Dragon, even though that wasn't really, it was Saint Germain that was calling me to bring in that Violet Flame. But we can also add the Violet Dragon and the Violet Flame, the Agarthians. So both Dina and I are connected, and Agarthians are in Earth people, also interdimensional people, so they're put in the galactic category. And we're feeling, she's got some paintings that she's already done, but the Violet Flame is definitely what I am connected with. We're going to start with that, and each month we are going to build on that, talk about the Agarthians, talk about the galactic realms, and anything that comes up for you or what comes up during those. There'll be a meditation, we'll do some talking and some painting or drawing or whatever you feel. It's not going to be like, we're going to critique it, but Dina is going to help you read your paintings. So I've shared with you before that after I took a couple of classes with Dina, I started doing channeled paintings, and I'm feeling there's some of those for me to do today. So I'll be posting those as I do them. Definitely the Violet Flame again wants me to do some channeled painting around that. So if you'll see us come up at around 7 p.m. Hopefully we'll both get on the same feed for a Facebook Live. Technology is not my best suit, so I'm going to go with her. And also talking about different, and again, the same energy, so Dina, and also, so I'm going to be having Ryan come and talk with us on Friday, the 12th at 7 p.m., 7 to 8:30 p.m. He's going to talk to us a lot about Dragon Reiki. He has classes set up for next year, for starting January, Reiki 1 and 2. So he'll talk more about that, how we got connected with the Reiki energy. That's a fabulous story, and how he got started in the energy world. And I think that always is an interesting story for all of us, and anything else that comes up for you. So if you want to learn more about, this is Dragon Empowerment Reiki. It's got some other names, but it's really about empowering you, empowering your dragons. I've taken level 1. I'm taking level 2 in March with Ryan. And then I'm going on to teacher master, because that's what the dragons are telling me I need to do this year. So that's what I've signed up for. So I'm looking forward to that. I've done other modalities of Reiki. Have never done Reiki Master, but definitely Dragon Reiki Master is in this year for me. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about was a lot of people, over the last few years, a lot of people have actually either found their word or somebody has given them a word for next year. So for me, two words came up. So for 2024, I have vision and growth. And I think both of those are perfect for me because I do need, I'm working more on my vision for this coming year, and I'm definitely growing, and I'm putting out there that that is what I'm doing this year. So growing more, speaking my truth, maybe doing more of these, maybe just jumping on every now and again and doing some more talking about what's going on for me, because whatever's going on for us is usually going on for other people. So I'm confident that the beginning of the year is going to start for me at a slower pace, which is great. I don't need it to be too fast this year. I've had a couple of fast, accelerated years. So stay tuned. So I think this is fabulous. And as I say, I can't make this stuff up. So when I pulled the card for us to start 2024, this is one of my favorites, Kuan Yin. So I always find her feminine energy very calming. So enlightened action, choose compassion, move forward with grace. So I hear move forward with ease and grace. So Kuan Yin is the theme for this week, and also the first week in 2024, and couldn't be more perfect. So a little bit about Kuan Yin. This is from the Divine Master deck by Kyle Gray, who, as you probably guessed, is one of my favorite oracles that I use a lot of. I like his cards. So Kuan Yin is sometimes written a different way, either with a Q or a K, is the Bodhisattva being of pure compassion and love, who is loved the world over, especially in the East. Bodhisattvas are part of the Buddhist tradition, but are very similar to the Western concept of angels, being of light and brilliance, who will do anything they can to lead those who call on them into a space of peace and harmony. Kuan Yin has grace and a pearly white light surrounding her. She can help us step into an embrace of care, forgiveness, and compassion. If we have been hurt or disrespected by another person, she will help us move into a non-reactive space so that we can stay connected to the light as we move forward. And I certainly called on her when I had exactly that happen to me, that she helped me move through a situation enlightened, but very much with ease and grace, and not feeling all the things that I would have felt in the past, I would say. So her message for us is, if you're finding someone or something difficult at this time, the best way you can move forward is by moving beyond seeking to understand why something is in the way, or if someone is the way they are. It's time to move beyond the behavior or mistake or challenges that have happened around you. Don't be pulled into the misery and fear that is coming to you from outside sources. Refuse to operate on that level. Choose to take enlightened action for the sake of your own inner peace. Know that you can be compassionate and forgive without having to excuse someone else's behavior. It's more about stepping onto your own path and recognizing that you cannot allow your own wellness and peace to be affected by someone else's behavior or by the outcome of a situation that is beyond your control. Choose to move forward in your life with grace, and realize that if you allow yourself to get pulled in, it will only cause more hurt and anguish. And the best, most enlightened act you can perform is to move on with grace and forgiveness as your North Star. The energy of Kuan Yin is here to guide you in a composed, light-filled way. So beautiful message for the beginning of the year. So again, Kyle Gray's The Divine Masters. He's actually depicted a few that I like. This is his new deck. So again, I'm using Diana Cooper's unicorns. It's helping me to connect with the unicorns on a daily basis. I had no connection at all with them. In fact, they tell me that as they work at the soul level, I had been working with galactic beings and ascended masters, which is a completely different, it's almost in the angelic realm, different energy. And this way I'm bringing soul messages and the galactic higher frequency keys and codes as well. So we have an interesting array here. So the first card is Archangel Gabriel, call in the pure white light, which for January 1st is absolutely perfect. The next is flight. Let your creative imagination fly. Again, awesome for the first week in the year. Listening. Listen and the answer will be revealed. Something a lot of people have trouble with is sitting in silence, sitting stillness is, again, that word comes up a lot when I'm doing, when I'm connecting, especially with the dragons. They asked us to sit quietly in stillness and hear their message. So again, listening. Oh, this is interesting. The next one is invisibility. Take off your cloak of invisibility and let your light be seen. So I wonder how many people this will resonate with. That have you been keeping, this is what I'm hearing, have you been keeping yourself in the shadows? Have you cloaked your abilities? So think about why isn't your light shining? I talk a lot about that, especially with the messages that I get. They talk about us shining our lights out brighter, because as we see the twinkling in the sky, they also see us as those stars. So it's the reverse for them when they're looking down on Earth, or when they see a group of us, they see us as like twinkling stars. So fabulous card. And then birth. Be receptive to new ideas, child or situation. So again, birth, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be pregnant or give birth. Birthing new ideas. First week of the year is often a good week to gather those things and start moving forward with them. And then the last card is choice. There is another way. Ask your unicorn to help you find it. So there is another way. So I'm hearing, if that goes a lot, if we talk about, are we putting ourselves out there? Are we the shining star that we should be? They're all choices that we're making. So maybe look at that choice that you're making and see if there's another way. If you're not feeling comfortable with something you're being called to, maybe there's another way to do it. Because this is the year that those of us that have been walking this spiritual path or have been doing the work, it's time for us to speak out and shine our lights and speak up. So this is going to be an interesting year, is what I'm hearing. So on many levels. So we'll just take 1 week at a time. So again, I want to send you my thanks for those of you that have recently joined my Facebook pages, that have started to follow me. I'm very grateful. This is my year to shine. So you will be seeing, hearing more from me, I'm told. The dragons have already said, yep, that's you as well. And maybe more writing. So again, if you want to reach out to me, you can find me on all of my different things, or you can just, if you East Coast Dragon Lady, you will find my Facebook, find my website, and on there it connects you. And if you go to LinkedIn under East Coast Dragon Lady, you'll find me there and can connect with me. So I hope everybody has a great start to 2024, and I'll be back next week.